Um, I'm not sure if I did that right, but I felt like it was important in the introduction to start out by saying that I was one and learning how to walk. And that was a really, I went over it again and again and again, and that's just what I kept going back to was the CL2, just doing the very concentrated, slow, kind of stumbly steps that a toddler would do. I felt like it was important to show that because I wanted to do it later on in the story, and I wanted everyone to understand um, why it was that I was walking that way, and also express why one of the major reasons why I fell was because I was learning how to walk, and it was that real concentrated, um, slow walking that I was doing, and that it wasn't just some older person. Like I didn't want anyone to be confused. I wanted you to envision a 1-year old kind of doing that concentrated, slow, stumbly stepping kind of thing that toddlers do. Again, I really wanted you to see like the couch being too big for me and me having to literally crawl down from it. So I used a bit of a body part classifier, like my little legs, trying to one after another pull down off the couch and then finally standing on the floor. I just want to say I loved my mischievous face there. I don't think I originally planned to have a mischievous face, but I think in me envisioning myself as I was, be like, oh, I want to get to that TV so bad, and how I set up the table and the TV. That's of course why I set up the table and TV that way, because I wanted the flat line of you seeing the table with holding my hand there and me walking to the table, and then the stumble, which gives you a basic concept, and then I describe it more in a second. Okay, I really hate how I did that, but I did it over and over and over again, and I didn't like it no matter how I did it. Um, at first, I did the open palm down to show the actual the surface of the table itself, but it was one of those tables, that has an edge on it. Um, so it came out a little bit, and that's why I did the G's after that to show the edge of it. And I know I did it out once, and then I brought it back in, but I was trying to show the corner because my head hit the actual corner, so that's why I brought it in to be the actual corner. I could have just not done the out and just done it in the first place, and maybe it wouldn't have looked so entirely awkward like it did. That's probably my most favorite part in the whole video. I don't know why I love it. I love my thought process behind it because I needed the corner and I wanted to hold one hand, my non-dominant hand. I wanted to hold the corner, and since we've been using the fist for heads, just literally give you the full picture of my head just hitting that table. And the sound I did along with it was just perfect. I don't even think I planned to make that sound. It just kind of happened. I think if it's perfect, I think hopefully when someone watches it, you literally kind of gasp a little, like, "Oh no," because that's what I wanted. That's that's the moment that I wanted from the audience. I know I had her come in from, I guess it would be the the left, or Siner's left, I guess. And that's because I wanted to use that hand because I definitely wanted her to pick me up and hold me with my left hand, my non-dominant hand, so that I could sign with my right hand. So I wanted, it just seemed clearer to me. I did it a few times, a few different ways, and I just loved the kitchen being to my left, and I felt like it just made for a much clearer story. I originally didn't plan on it going that way. I wanted to say hospital need, but I ended up messing up and saying need first, so it ended up being need hospital need. I don't guess it's entirely wrong, it's just not how I plan to say it. I'm also glad that I got all of the eyesights right because I actually wasn't thinking about it when I did it, but later on when I was going through and doing the grids and the reflections and everything, I'm really happy to notice that when my aunt picked me up, that I looked down. You know, being the aunt, I'd be looking down at my little shorter self. But when I was talking between my aunt and my mom, they were all looking at each other, except for when I first introduced my mom, she was looking slightly down, but I think that makes sense considering she'd probably be looking at me and I would be about chest level, which is about where I was looking. So I think I did all of that just perfectly, but I must say it was completely on accident that I just happened to have a visual brain and was picturing it in my head. And that is why I really love to do stories that happen in real life. Sometimes I do exaggerate them, but as long as at least part of it happened in real life, I tend to have a better picture of it in my head rather than something that you just make up. Okay, I hate that part. I don't. It. It's not wrong necessarily. I don't think. It's just I tried to do it and it just didn't come out clear in this video. It just didn't. And I mean, I guess you understand the concept of it, but it just wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be, and that is why I added the last after I showed where everyone was, I did a 1-2 to show mom and me because I felt like it wasn't really clear that the two of us were sitting back there. So I did a kind of like a last minute um, check of it, but I don't know. It just wasn't. It wasn't how I wanted, but you know. I love that part because I think it fit in perfect with the ASL structure. It's exactly how I want. I wanted drive, hospital, arrive because it was showing that we were driving to the hospital and we arrived at the hospital without saying arrive hospital. I definitely didn't want to say arrive hospital. I wanted hospital, arrive. And I didn't want to be repetitive with saying we drove to the hospital and then arrived. Like I wanted it all to be just kind of one flowing thing. I didn't want to be saying hospital over and over and over again. Um, I'm not sure if that's right. That was just the best thing I could think of. I knew I could have probably like finger spelled stitches, but I really didn't want to. I wanted it to be more. I tried to finger spell as less as possible in this because I just wanted it to. I wanted to be able to express it myself. So I figured the showing me and doing the sewing would express, you know, the concept of stitches. So yeah, I was saying that, you know, I don't need stitches, just a bandage would be fine. Now I'm not sure if that was right, but I know I finger spelled that one because I couldn't think of any other way to do it. And honestly, like a butterfly bandage is just a big bandage, so I couldn't think of any way to do it besides just sign bandage and then spell butterfly. And I know I signed it really slow, but I know my resolution sucks, so I didn't want anyone to miss anything. I think the only thing you really miss in the video is when my aunt and mom are talking. It gets a little frantic, but since it was a frantic moment, I wasn't too upset when it all got a little blurry because I wasn't really saying anything important besides just acting hectic. So the blurriness, I guess, kind of added to the hecticness, so it was fine. Okay, I guess that was okay. When I pulled it out of the drawer, I wanted to do F's because I originally had them G's and it just felt too big for what I was picking up. But then I knew I would have to open it with kind of a G hand shape or a closed hand shape because you wouldn't open it with F's. That seemed weird and dainty. But then because I switched over into G's, I forgot to pick it up with an F. So I ended up with a G anyway, holding it as an instrument classifier. So I don't. I should have stuck with F's both times or just used G's all throughout, I guess. But it ended up getting a little miscombobulated. But I think you still understand the concept of it me taking the bandage out, opening the package of the bandage and taking the bandage out, which I'm not actually sure if that's how butterfly bandages are kept. I just treated it kind of as a regular bandage, only a little bigger, because I just guess that's how they go, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I don't know, that might be a little awkward. I didn't know how else to say. Like, it was better now. The blood stopped. The bandage stopped it, and so I just added that part in. Um, I don't know if that part was right. I was trying to say that it's all better now, but I have a scar. Um, and that was just the only way I could think of to say. I know I said still scar, steel, which I guess I was just reiterating what I was saying. Um, I don't know. I guess that was right. All in all, I liked the video. There was a few things obviously that I could have done better. A lot of things. I actually feel like some things I did right that I actually really really thought about, and other things it was funny, like looking down when my aunt was picking me up, like just kind of happy accidents that I happened to just do, I guess, instinctively on my own that I really didn't think about in the story, that it just kind of happily happened. And I don't think anything happily happened wrong or unhappily happened wrong. Like, I don't think I had any just random mistakes that I didn't think about, but I did have things I did right that I didn't think about. So I guess that's good that I have natural just instincts about the ASL, because like I said, I really was thinking about it visually, and I think that's the most important thing in storytelling, is just to visually picture it in your head like that.